Hello, you beautiful people! Today we're going to be learning about the main teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is an ancient script and text in the Hindu tradition and religion that was created in the second half of the first millennial BCE, and is basically, it's 18 chapters and 700 verses, and is basically about a conversation between a lord and a prince. And this lord is the god, as we know, of Krishna. And through this whole conversation, the book is based around this conversation. And in this conversation, there are 7 main teachings that come out of it that teach you about what life is, about yourself, the inward experience that you are going through, why you do certain things, and some beautiful self-realizations that come out that have so much weight, power, volume, value, and just importance about why we do things and about this life. So let's get straight into it. The first teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is know that you are the spiritual self. This one I absolutely adore. It basically explains that you're not your body, you're not your mind, but you are the consciousness experiencing those things and experiencing thoughts, emotions, values, and all of that. You are that consciousness, you are that being. Your true self cannot be hurt, cannot be in pain, cannot feel joy, but it is eternal and it is divine, and that is what you live with when you die. The second teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is know the reality of the world within that you live, that it is unreal, it's impermanent, and it is clothed and layered with illusions and things that are temporary, that are so temporary to this world. Why I say this world is an illusion is because our perception of things actually bends reality. So our brain bends reality based on our expectations, our desires, our opinions, our past experiences on what reality is. So everything that you've gone through before happens for a reason, and all of those things reflect onto reality that you live within and that you experience, and actually create an illusion. And yourself and your perception and your eyes and your brain doesn't actually perceive what this world truly is. The third teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is to stabilize the mind with detachment from your desires. And when you have a desire within you, it is so difficult to push that down, to push that away. The desire that you experience clogs the mind and creates instability within the mind, because now all you want to do is reach that desire and achieve it and get it, and you'll do anything that you can in order to get that, and you won't actually be present within the mind. Your desires are based around your senses, and your senses are obviously your sight, your touch, your smell, your taste. If you have the desire to have a piece of chocolate, that taste is what you are actually desiring. It's not the piece of chocolate itself. If you are desiring an experience, you don't desire the experience, you desire the feeling that it gives you. So all of our desires are based around our senses, and once you take our senses away, withdraw from the senses, then you will be able to find stability within the mind. Once you find stability within the mind, you'll be able to see things as they are. You'll be able to see pain and pleasure. And that in itself is a self-realization of how this reality is. The fourth teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is to cultivate. So this is what it actually says. It's to cultivate the Buddha, which basically means to practice wisdom. To know the difference between what truth is and what untruth is, what good and what bad is, the real good and the real bad, not what you perceive the real good to be as. It is to know the difference between the true self and the false self, of the thoughts that come into your mind, of realizing, okay, those thoughts do not align with my morals, with my values. So that is not speaking from my inner true self of who I actually really am, of my true self. And my goal and my dream for each and every one of you is to reach a point where you know your true self, where you can clothe yourself in that, where your mind, your body, and your soul is connected so perfectly. Remember that you're not your mind and you're not your body, but you're rather just that soul. You're that consciousness. But once you connect that all together, your beingness can actually experience what the true self is, and you'll know what the true self is in order to know what the true good is, what the true bad is. The fifth teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is to know the true meaning of action and inaction. Realizing that the actions that you do actually bind yourself to this world, because how many of our actions are really pure, are really seeking the pleasure of this world, of others, and none of ourselves. The actions that we experience binds us to the world, which creates suffering within us. It's not the actual physical actions that we do, but it's our consequences, which is also known as our karma. You can neutralize your karma by actually taking your actions and doing them without desire, without attachment, without seeking the fruits of what your action is, and to do that action within just pure love and pure goodness and pure sincerity for the world, and just to see the joy of the world and not to have that expectation even to see that joy and to get joy from that, to have that, to not have that, but rather just to do those actions as an act of service. Number 6 is to surrender to the higher power, to God, the creator, the universe, whoever might you think that the higher power is. First of all, acknowledging that there is one, that there is some sense, some energy, some higher consciousness going around on us, helping us, providing for us constantly, and just surrendering yourself to that, surrendering your service to that, acknowledging that the universe, I'm gonna call it a he for now, but a he created all of this, created everything, and created everything that you own. To surrender that, to surrender it to God, and to surrender yourself and your talents and everything that you are as an act of service, as an act of devotion towards Him. Which brings us to our 7th and our last teaching of the Bhagavad Gita, is to acknowledge the presence of the higher being, of the higher consciousness within you, that is actually within you and within everybody and within everything. Realizing that God can be the birds in the sky, God can be the wind within the trees, God can be within you, cultivating the happiness that you feel within yourself. Sometimes we just need to open up our eyes and realize actually everything that we do have and how grateful we are for that, and just cultivate an attitude of gratitude and to give that over to God and to thank Him for it, and realize just the unconditional love that He has for you. Thank you so much for clicking onto this video and just learning about the main teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. It's a beautiful, beautiful scripture written in Sanskrit that I wish that I could read just generally like that, but it has so much content and just so much power and beautiful lessons that we can take away from that and learn from that and build within us to live and strive for a better, fulfilling life. So thank you.